Alright, welcome back to the Cove, basically, where I'm bringing back Predator after 2-3 weeks of hiatus for it. And yeah, pretty much like I usually do. I'm a free. I don't use a script really. I usually just freeball it, and I'm still freeballing this one, like every other one. So now that I'm back using the story, I remember where I left off too. This is after the whole examination thing where Predator hung, basically slept Bakugo and hung Ida off the side of a building. And I remember I made the comment that Ida is not afraid of heights, but it's more like the afraid of heights is not afraid of like how high you are in the air. You're afraid of falling. So that's what he is afraid of, really. Is falling from a height is not as tall as that fucking building. And my bad, this isn't a bottle ASMR. Get the fuck out of here. So yeah, I'm gonna continue. Alright. So after the exam, I mean, it's not really an exam. My bad. It's after the test, really, or heroes versus villains. Basically, what happens is, as you know, they go back to their, well, Deku doesn't have to, so I guess he just goes to the dorm. No, he goes into the locker room for once, because he's like, might as well, it's faster to change here. So upon walking into the locker room, he sees Mineta, the peeping Tom Mineta, and he basically realizes that that's the girl's locker room. And Deku, people think, oh, he'd be pissed because Mina's in there. Well, he's more like, he's pissed off, but it's not like, he's not like, I'm gonna put your head through the wall pissed off. It's more like, how do you like ass enough in your eyes pissed off? So that's what he does. In fact, he has 3 spiders bite him, basically paralyzing him, and then he has other bugs basically spit acid on him. Not the acid that can kill you, but that burns acid. And he's hanging him upside down in the locker room for peeping. And that same hole he clogged with the web. And basically everyone in the locker room seen that, and basically they're not even mad at him. They're not gonna say anything. They're just letting Mineta hang, because they're like, he kind of deserved it for that. There's the limits of shit you're supposed to do and not supposed to do. That you're not supposed to do, and that's how they saw it. But when Deku takes off the armor and stuff, they see his body and they're looking at how the fuck? I mean, it's weird how he looks, because he looks like, think of he has a light skin complexion, I remember it, and the dreads. So they're looking at him like, what the fuck is he? He's built as hell, but he doesn't he works out. So Kirishima was the first person to ask that, do you work out, or what do you? Deku says, well, not really work out in a sense, more like I hunt things. And Ida says, hunt? He says, yeah, Deku says, yes, hunt. I hunt many different types of animals. As an example, some I've hunted deer, rabbits, he's whatever you can find in the jungle, including bears, and whatever the hell else is in the jungle. And that's when Kirishima looks at him. He says, bears? He said, yeah. And he pulls out the necklace, basically, showing that he has bear claws on it. And everyone in the fucking room was looking like, wait, so you're telling me you fought and killed a bear? He says, yeah. Deku says, yeah. This is when I was younger, though. I haven't hunt anything like that in a while. Honestly, the closest I got to hunting something was about a week ago. But I never really went out and did it. Because, when you have to get ready for school, and and you're talking to someone, you kind of don't got time to go on the hunt. And they actually look at him like, huh. No, that's actually kind of interesting. Because many of them thought, like, oh, he's like, he just doesn't talk to people and yada yada. So, like, Mineta caught, like, Kaminari tape guy and Mineta caught the fact that he said when you're talking to someone, everyone else was still talking the fact that he hunts. So, they're asking, like, many questions. And he basically says, like, I mean, I hunt, but it's not like I hunt with, like, rifles and stuff. I hunt with this equipment I made. Basically, it makes the job easier, plus it feels natural to me. So, yeah, that's basically... He explains it, and they head back to class. After he almost left Mineta there, and then he was like, oh, my bad. And basically just, like, the rope basically snaps and drops Mineta on his head. I mean, he can't really drop on his head, because the balls on his head will just, like, cushion the drop. So it's more like he's stuck on his head. And I must say, he has spiders unravel it, and then go right back into him. And there's the next question they ask. They ask, what's Deku's quirk? He says, it's like, he all explained it is like, well, like, my quirk is basically the manipulation of bugs. Like, think of, you know, Koji, but not like him. Like, I actually make them. Like, I'm a hive. Pretty much. Like, and he says, like, no, come back in the locker room and I'll show you. Basically, when everyone goes back in the locker room, he unbuttons the shirt and they see, like, the front part of him. And they see that in him, you can see, like, little cracks and stuff. And he shows that, like, bugs can seep out and come back into his body through those cracks and crevices. So some people thought it was gross, but he even looked at Koji and says, like, yeah, like, bugs are cool if you know how to, like, use them, but you can't be afraid of them. Bugs are natural and they're a part of the cycle, just like everything else. And he tells that to Koji, and Koji's, like, more confident in his ability now. I forget, like, my bad, I just forget, like, does he control animals or bugs? Just let me know so I can remember correctly. But yeah, that's how that goes. So I don't know how long it is before, like, the USJ, so I'm a time skip basically. But during this time skip, matter of fact, no, I'm not gonna time skip yet. I'm gonna say after that, the girls are waiting for the boys to, like, no, we have to go back to class together. And Mineta basically is on her phone. And everyone's, like, wondering what she's doing, and she says, oh, I'm texting Deku, basically telling him to hurry up. And basically they say, wait, you got his number? And she says, yeah, we've been friends for a while now. And everyone's looking at her like, you know what? That actually makes fucking sense. They're, like, think about it, they aren't surprised, they're just sitting there like, that makes sense. Like, that makes too much sense. Like, they have the looks of, like, it's like, you know, I mean, right? It's not shock. It's more like you're like, oh, like the oh type of look. Like, yeah, that makes sense. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna text him to hurry up. But on the way out, he sees the text and he's like, oh, okay. And he says, like, yeah, I'm coming out now. And the first one that comes out is, you know, Deku, and he's talking to everyone basically. Like, he basically made pals with everyone. Ida and Bakugo still hate him to an extent, but they kind of explain... I mean, they kind of know how he got stronger. And as such, they respect him in a sense, because they're like, okay, he didn't just, like, get strong, he became stronger. And his fighting style, like, he didn't learn it. He's more like, I mean, he's self-taught, basically. And and don't tell, and trust me, I didn't forget. Predator is still on the hunt for his fucking son. It's just when you're in a different plane of existence, it's kind of hard to find your damn son. And Devora is still looking for him too. She can sense him with bugs, just that she can't get to him because a parallel fucking dimension. So they know where he's at. They just don't know how to get to him. They're still bitching at each other though for like losing Deku. Like, just think about it. Devora's sitting there bitching at Predator because he wasn't paying attention, and Predator's bitching at her because because she wasn't paying attention, and it's been like that for a couple years. They're together, but they're not at the same. I mean, they're together only because they want to get Deku back. But Predator basically knows that just because he's alive, that he basically isn't he knows his son isn't gonna die easily, so that's why he's not really worried about him. Plus, he's kind of it's kind of tradition where your son fucking leaves and goes out on hunts and shit. But so he isn't really worried. It's just more like Devora being worried because it's her fucking child with her side of her power. So she's more interested in him and see his growth. So, yeah, besides that, things go as usual, besides the fact that Mina and Deku are getting closer and closer as the days go. So I'm gonna say this is the day before the USJ incident. Mina and Deku go out. I mean, basically, Mina asks Deku if he wants to go some places. Deku says sure. Plus, I wanted to try driving this. I want to try driving something that I've been building for a while. And he doesn't say that. He says sure. I'll pick you up around I'll pick you up around 1. I mean, not 1. I'll pick you up we'll go after school basically. And I'll be outside the school to pick you up. And to this, Deku basically has been building a bike. Ah, fuck, my toes fell on the floor. Damn it. I'm still in my chamber. But Mina's surprised because Deku pulls up in a motorcycle basically that he built from scratch. Trust me, he built the engine and everything. And no, Mark, I do not know the specs on this fucking. Fuck. No, fuck it. He don't care anymore. He doesn't know the specs on the fucking bike. No, I do not know the specs on the bike, so don't ask. If you want the specs, you can tell me in Discord. Say it in the next one, because I'm not about to go through and basically explain a top tier bike built by a Predator. But he built it, and because you can actually ride a motorcycle. You can ride a motorcycle before you can drive a car in Japan. So he has the license for it too, because of Nezu. So he pulls up with his Predator helmet on, and basically tells Mina to get on, and hands her own Predator helmet now. Now, to those who think she shouldn't have a Predator helmet, it's not his helmet. It's just a model of it. If you think about it, he's not gonna give her his helmet. One of his helmets. He's giving her the outside of it. She doesn't have all the gadgets and gizmos of his helmet. Because only he knows how to work it. So, everyone sees this, including the girls and guys. Kirishima and the guys are jealous because they're damn, he has a bike. That's pretty fucking cool. And then Deku took off the helmet and explained, I actually didn't buy this. I built it myself. It took a couple weeks. A whole bunch of research was the main cause of it. I built everything from scratch, including the engine, and everything from there. I just built it myself. But yeah, it took a while. I just wanted to like take it out for a spin today. I know it works perfectly, like fine. It's just I want to take it out. And like Kirishima and them see it as like that's cool that he built it himself. The girls are looking at it like, damn, he knows how to build his own shit too. Like, damn, man, you pretty much cuffed him at this point. And Mina's just sitting there like, damn, like I didn't knew he was smart, but to build your own shit like this is actually pretty fucking cool. And the seats are comfortable too. Like he made everything about that fight. I'm talking, he built the speedometer, the engine, how much the engine holds. I'm pretty sure if he knew, I mean, no, you can't put like nitrous on a fucking bike, or can you? I don't know. I'm gonna say that for a car if he decides to drive a car. He probably won't though, considering until very later on. Anyway, let's continue. So Deku drives like her many places before taking her home. Like he drives her to the mall, and like many places in the mall. Now Deku is still pretty clueless about women things, so he goes to he does the same thing. Besides, he goes to the movies, goes out to eat, drives her around town basically to many different places, and they basically she shows him different things like. She shows him different places she likes to go and everything, and he's sitting there like, huh, maybe I can build something for that. He says that in his head. But what she mainly takes him is like places she thinks he would be interested in. Like she took him to an arcade and like showed him video games and stuff. He says like, it's cool and all, but it's not like the real thing. He says it's fun, don't get me wrong, but it's not like I can just go in there and do it. And Mina said, that's true, but you gotta admit it's still pretty fun. He says, yeah. But what's really interesting is that, like, I know you can dance, because we were playing on that dance, whatever that dance machine was earlier. So I can tell you're pretty good with your feet. And he even tells her, like, why don't you implement, a martial art into it, like capopara, or he says like capopara. Like, if she basically asks what's that, he says it's basically a kind of fighting that's involved heavily in dancing. I think it'll be good for you. Plus, if you do it the right, you can combine your acid with it, making it very deadly. And she was like, huh, I actually never thought of it that way. And he said, I can teach you. All you need to do is just come over to my house. And mind you, Deku doesn't know what the hell he's doing yet, because, he's still used to the whole woman thing. So Mina, like, thinks he's know what he's doing, but trust me, he doesn't. So she takes him up on that offer, basically saying, like, damn, I had to go in this house too. So this, like, he says, okay, but it's getting late, so I suggest, like, not today, but maybe after the USJ, I can help you learn capopara. And she says, sure. And Deku drives her home. And no, for the people asking, they did not go to any clothes stores. Well, not yet, at least. Because, yeah, Victoria's Secret and the last one was actually kind of funny, now that I brought it up. I couldn't think of any more places. Like, this is me going off on a small rant, I'll always let you know. I couldn't think of any other place but Victoria's Secret. I know there's, like, a whole bunch of places like Pink, I think. Is Pink? I'm not sure. JCPenney's, Macy's. Different kind of places, but Victoria's Secret is the first place that came to mind. Like, if you think about it, if your girl wanted to take you somewhere to, basically, I don't know, but Victoria's Secret somehow popped in my mind for, like, that reason. But, yeah. Why do I make, matter of fact, this is my extra parts of the rant. Why do I make Ochako so fucking bold in these stories? Oh, yeah, because it makes sense. It's me. It's always a small part of me in every fucking character. I keep forgetting that. Alright, I'm gonna challenge myself, actually, now. So upon doing this, Deku head back to the dormitory, and because of what the two ideas he has two new projects, basically to make a VR system, like you know how SAO is, and basically to build something that can teleport him and Mina around places, so he can basically take her places. He doesn't want to build a ship or anything because he's like, I really have no place to put that. So he starts drawing up schematics that night, but he doesn't start the process of making anything yet because to him it's like, I still got school and shit. Plus I got a big day tomorrow with the USJ. So he ends the night off with that. I might have to give myself some fucking juice or water in a minute. I'm not even tired, that's the crazy thing. I know I got like one or two in me tonight. Matter of fact, yeah, I got one or two in me tonight. So, upon, let's see. Upon that, he basically ends the night with him going to sleep. And upon waking up in the morning, he's greeted with the text from Mina basically saying like, hey, don't forget today's the morning of the USJ, so don't forget anything you might need. And he, like, this is a thing he did on the side that I forgot to mention. He basically was in, like, because of that whole idea with Capopara, last night he kind of developed, he didn't develop weapons, he just built like things that go around Mina's like legs and basically like forearms to help her. But think of it like this, it's a light metal but very hard to break. He basically makes that for Mina. And he says, hey, before you come to school, I'd like to meet you somewhere. He says, I'm gonna actually swing by and pick you up because I want to give you something. I made it last night before I went to sleep. And when he pulls up, he basically showed it to her house with his motorcycle, and says, yeah, I made these for you last night. And he says it's basically the same thing as mine, except for like he clicks like his and says like, got like this, and it shows like a radar and a HUD and stuff. Like he says that if you want it, I can give it to you, but it's like very complicated. Because when you have a HUD, it shows his whole inventory of what he has, how much longer he has, the cooldown rates for everything. And he tells Mina that this is like the only thing yours can do really is these can help you, plus they can deflect many things. And an extra thing, like Ace clicks on it for her. This you can talk to me whenever, basically. Like if you click on it, you can basically just talk to me besides calling me or texting me. And this way I'll always hear it or see it, because I'm not always able to be at the phone, because as you can see, I make shit. Like I'm not lazy. I don't sit around and do anything. I just make stuff. And she basically says like, oh, that's pretty cool, but shall we be on our way to the school, because today's kind of a big day. And they head off to school, basically. Deku drives them to the school, parks in the dormitory, and walks in. Now, Mina basically, that's the first time she's seen him park. And she asks, like, oh, why aren't you parking in the back? He says, I will park at my house, basically. Where I live currently. And it's on campus because it's the dormitory, so he parks there. And then him and Mina walk into the school. And Mina's kind of surprised. She was like, oh, like, that's where you live? I thought you lived, like, further away. He said, I used to live up in the mountains. That's where I used to hunt at, but now, because of Nezu, I live in the dormitory. I can head to the mountains now whenever because of the bike, but I prefer to just, for some reason, stick around town. I learn a lot more here than I do in the jungle anyway. And Mina's actually kind of surprised by it because she knows more about Deku than everyone else does because they've been around each other so long. She kind of knows that he isn't from Earth, he's from somewhere else, but he doesn't have like she doesn't know what the hell he is, but she knows like some parts of it. Like okay, so his hair is basically alive because she touched it before and is reactive. He's pretty fucking smart. He loves making things, and yeah, she basically took down notes and says like, okay, so he ain't from Earth, but he has nothing against Earth, so that's pretty good. But yeah, enough with that. I'm gonna get to the USJ. So upon entering class, they see that everyone's pretty much in their hero uniforms. And Deku says, hold on a second, because, like, he forgot about it. He takes Mineta to, I mean, those two walk to the locker rooms, basically, and start getting dressed in their hero clothes. And as such, like, and that happens. I was gonna do something, but I was like, nah, this, as much as I want it to happen, that's too early for this one, because Deku wouldn't know what to do. But actually, yeah, the only thing that happens is like Mina basically like comes out and Deku says, "Oh, like you don't know how to put them on." She says like, "No, no. I try to put them on like just slip them on and they're hard to put on." He says, "Oh, because you forgot to do this," and he clicks the button and he clicks another button and like they you know how it is. They separate then get on the person. She says, "Huh, these are actually quite light," and she like starts moving around and he says, "Yeah, I made them like that." And they head to the bus basically because they went to class and realized they left a note basically saying like, "Yeah, we're heading out to the bus," and they headed out to the bus. Oh shit! All right, give me 1 sec. I had to pause real quick. Alright, I'm back. The streamer I was basically listening to for the past hour or so basically ended his stream, so I had to change to a different streamer, basically. Plus, I wanted to get me something to drink. So, without further ado, I'll continue the story now. So, they're basically on the bus now to the USJ, because nothing eventful happened, because, you know, what the fuck eventful shit could have happened when you're, you know, heading to USJ. Besides the extra questions that were asked to Deku, like on the bus, it wasn't really by the guys because they kind of have everything they asked. It was more like from the females. Basically, they're basically questioning Deku, basically asking about his relationship with Mina. And Deku is still pretty much confused by this because he's like, she's my friend. She's my friend. Mina looking at it like they're asking around the question, basically avoiding the fact that they want to cuff him, but they don't know if they're a thing yet. And Mina is basically like getting mad at them because she's thinking like, oh, they're trying to take him away from me, when it is basically like that. They're trying to see if like is room to cuff them as well, or is it just a one person thing? Well, some of them think that, like, the only person who really thinks, I mean, the people who really think that are like, let's see. Momo's interested because she sees that he can build stuff. So she's not really interested in a relationship, more like a partnership, basically helping her with looking things up. And in fact, the only people who really think that is mainly, I must say, Froppy? Because remember, she's still a frog. So, and Deku can make like bugs and animals and stuff. So, like, she sees the potential in him, so she's like, he could be pretty suitable. No, shit, my boy's online. Anyway. She sees it as, like, a capable mating candidate, basically. But, she's like, I don't know, I have to ask Mina. But that's pretty much it. The other girls are just like, they're either like interested, but like, nah, I'm not gonna do it. Like, who is it? Jiro, Ochako, fucking. I keep forgetting all the girls that are in. There's not many girls now I think about it. In fucking. I mean, in 1A, now I think about it, because you got Invisible Girl, Froppy, Jiro, Ochako, and. You know who I'm talking about. I forget her fucking name sometimes. Momo. That's pretty much it for the like girls in 1A, which is disappointing to an extent. But think about it, But that's pretty much it. Like I'm gonna say this, Deku can see Invisible Girl. He just hasn't spoke on it yet. So, matter of fact, yeah, this is the perfect time to say this. Say it. So on the bus, like because he has the helmet on, he sees heat signatures. And as you know, Invisible Girl, I don't think she wears a suit. I only think she wears gloves and boots. So Deku points it out, like on the bus when she asks her the question. He says, "All right, well, all these questions I have one. Why is she naked?" And because, and she's and basically what Invisible Girl says is, "Well, it's not like you can see me anyway." He says, and he basically says like, "Oh no, wait, he isn't dense. I mean, he isn't like he's blunt about it. He says, no, I can see you perfectly. Like this mask is built to see people who are invisible as well." And she looks, and she's like, if you can see embarrassment on her face, like she's looking at like, oh shit, and she starts to cover herself up, and it's funny because he still sees through her. He's like, yeah, I think you should invest in a suit because just gloves and boots aren't it. And mind you, girls would get mad at this, but they're like, you know what? Like, you can't really get mad at it. At least he's telling her, like, yeah, I can see. Like, I'm not gonna. Like, he didn't sugar. The only thing they hated about it was he didn't sugarcoat it. And Mina isn't even mad about it. She's like, you know what? I'm not even surprised that he can see her. Like, actually, no, she's pretty pissed off. Because she's like, but she's like mad at Deku because she's like, you know, you could have just said it like less like blunt. He says, what other way can I say that? Like brought her to the side and say, hey, you're see through. He says, but she isn't see through. I can see her. And Mina says, no, I forget sometimes that you let. She don't say you're not from here, but then she was like, no, let me correct that. I forget sometimes that you don't understand like Japanese to an extent. He says, I mean, I do, but at the same time, like I can. You said see through. I can see her. I can't. I can see. You guys can see through her. I can see her. Period. So basically, he just throws her a shirt for now because he's like, yeah, like as cool as it is, like I can that you like you think. How do I say it? Like the suit. Fuck. How do I explain it? He doesn't get. He doesn't get women basically. Like he's dense when it comes to women to an extent because he knows some things, but he's like, eh. Like he isn't. He doesn't know the birds and the bees, surprisingly. So like nothing really happens with him. Like after seeing Mina make it, which I said Mina, Invisible Girl naked, which really surprised the girls because they looked downstairs and they're like, that's weird. He didn't get like his. They said, well, his like his. They basically say his period then turned into a. How could a period turn into a question? A fucking exclamation point. His banana didn't extend. His pole didn't like enlarge it. His fucking staff didn't get. His fucking staff didn't like. Didn't grow. But yeah, I'm gonna stop with that. And basically, Mina's kind of surprised by this too, but she's like, is he gay? And the boys thought that too for a second because they weren't paying attention. They came in at the end. And Deku's looking at me like, what? What are you looking at? And they say, oh, nothing. And Mina basically asks like, hey, are you into guys? Deku says, no, hell no. Why the fuck would you think that? And Mina says, just asking, because, like, something really had, like, something that I've seen recently had me ask that. And he says, well, okay. And mind you, they just confirmed that he doesn't like guys. So all the guys are, like, in the back are like, Hugh, he isn't gay. And all the girls are sitting there like, yes, he isn't gay. So that's the end of that situation. The fact that Deku gave Invisible Girl a shirt. And now Invisible Girl is kind of... This is gonna be a fucking harem with fucking Invisible Girl fucking... With Invisible Girl, Mina, and Tetsuyu. Because Tetsuyu's sitting here like, Like, she isn't dumb, so she kind of figured out, like, she basically pulled Mina to the side, Invisible Girl. He was like, guys, she huddled up the girls and the guys, and she said, I think he doesn't know the birds and the bees. Kirishima says, what? Kirishima basically is the only person. Kirishima says what? Basically, because he was like, because mind you, he isn't stupid, but he's like, he doesn't get the analogy. And she said the peach and she says, and then Froppy says the peach and the banana, and he says, oh, that's what you meant. But how do you? And he says, but how do you take it? He doesn't know. He's like, well, when you don't get turned on by the fact that you see someone naked, that's kind of fucking weird. And Kirishima said, like, maybe he isn't interested. And fucking everyone looks at fucking Invisible Girl, and they say like, maybe he's like, because that kind of hurt Invisible Girl feeling. They said maybe he's interested, but like he doesn't know, like, basically because she's still like, oh fuck, how do I explain it? How the fuck do I explain this? Damn, I'm kind of at a lost words now because I actually didn't think of this all the way through. They basically, like, the way they explain it is that, like, because he doesn't know it, there's no way for him to express it. Because you think about it, they said his quirk is kind of like, basically, like, compare her to Mina. I mean, his quirk to Mina, so they say, like, he's kind of like you. He's kind of like have an alien type quirk. Plus, he has control over bugs. Basically, they're like, okay, that makes sense. So, I guess on the remember the bus right there, they all huddle up around him and say, like, okay, it's time for the list of the birds and the bees. And Deku says, okay, birds can fly, bees can fly, I don't see the problem with it. And they all basically smack their faces, because they're like, oh yeah, he's like Kirishima. He basically Kirishima's like, hey, there's nothing wrong with me. He says, like, we don't mean it like that. I mean, you can't use an analogy with him. And they're like, and Kirishima's like, oh yeah. Then they basically say, like, okay, time to teach you about the, like, they were, like, Tetsuyu's about to say, let's teach you about the staff and the fucking, let's teach you about the staff and the, the staff and the fucking fruit. And he would have been like, huh? And basically, like, Mina basically came out and said, like, it's time for sex ed. And he says, like, what the fuck is sex ed? And she basically says, oh my fucking gosh. And she says, you have a lot to learn, so sit the fuck down on this long fucking ride. And Tetsuyu almost said that you're gonna give him sooner or later, but she stopped herself. But basically, no, Tetsuyu gave her that look, like, basically, Tetsuyu gave her that look, like, that's what she said, look. And Mina basically was about to burst out laughing, and everyone else, but they're like, alright, no. And Deku still doesn't get it, so during the rest of the ride, they basically explain, like, the whole concept. And Deku was like, oh, shit. And basically, they get the reaction they were expecting, and Deku was like, oh yeah, he basically tells like Invisible Girl, my bad. I just like I'm still like he was about to say I didn't know because I never really had like a parent figure to teach me this shit, so I didn't really know. So that's on me. And that's how that small parts go. Now I'm at 40 minute mark. I gotta check something to see if my phone's acting retarded. No, it should be good, but I'm gonna pause real quick. Alright, I'm in the clear. Surprisingly, my phone didn't say, warning, insufficient fucking space. But yeah, time to get to the USJ. So after that event in the USJ, Deku now, like, with that knowledge, he basically marked it down in his logs and says, note to self, like, remember that women are suitable mates in his helmet. And he says, and look up, like, the rest, and look up sex when you get home. Fuck it, it's 18 plus anyway. Fuck it, why not? I hope this shit doesn't get demonetized. It should get demonetized. It's more like some dumb shit happening, so it should be fine. Plus, people have said worse on YouTube. So, after that, he, like, at the USJ, Deku like, has a feeling that something is wrong, but he's like, I mean, he acts on his instincts, but he basically warns Aizawa, like, yeah, I am getting a bad feeling from this place. Like, it feels like something's wrong. And Aizawa takes, like, his word for it, because if you think about it, if this kid says, like, something is wrong, and he feels like something is wrong here, something might be definitely wrong. As in, yeah, we might need help here, so just call for backup just in case. So before Aizawa enters, he basically says, like, yeah, can you send some people? Because a kid says, this area feels off. And when Nezu says who, he says, our little predator kind. Like, basically, the hunter. And Nezu says, say no more, I'm sending extra heroes. So, upon entering the USJ, the same shit happened. 13 basically 13 explains quirks, how can they be good or bad, and then basically, the villains pop up. Now, Deku isn't really surprised because he kind of seen it through his helmet. He's like, okay. He doesn't know their quirks, but the thing that interests him mainly is the Nomu, because he looks at it, he's like, oh, a new fucking hunt. And everyone looks at him like, what the fuck? Oh shit, I guess his shit ended too. Well, I'm gonna pause it for now. Give me a second. Alright, I returned due to... I didn't expect a second streamer's stream to go off. So no stream. But yeah, trying to continue. Basically where I was at was Deku basically says, oh, new hunt. One sec. Alright, I'm back after coming to the realization that it's like 3 or something in the morning, so after this I'm probably gonna end up hitting the fucking hay. But yeah, time to finish this, cap this episode off. So upon seeing the Nomu, Deku goes invisible basically. So basically tells Mina in the class like, yeah, I'm gonna be back real quick, and basically vanishes. And mind you, this is while Shigaraki and them are coming in. Like, they think like, okay, this is just the kids and stuff. So when the guy goes to separate them, Deku grabs him by the neck and basically removes the, like, he removes the neck. He sees the metal thing and he starts crushing it more and more because now he's in hunt mode, so he's like crushing it more and more. getting closer to the guys and getting close to the Nomu's the guy's neck until the guy teleports back down. And this at this point, like, he's like basically telling Shigaraki, like, yeah, we might want to get out of here because that kid is pretty fucking dangerous. And Shigaraki doesn't listen because, you know, he's dumb as hell. He's basically saying, like, no, the Nomu can probably handle him. And, you know, because Shigaraki's the boss, he says, okay. So Deku goes invisible fucking again because, you know, Shigaraki thinks, oh, he's a one-trick pony. When that isn't it. It's just, when you're the Predator, there's no need for you to be in the fucking... There's no need for you to not go invisible. Like, he could choose to not go invisible and let them know, like, okay, he's approaching. But he's a fucking hunter. He doesn't... You don't have to stalk your prey in the fucking... Like, while you're visible. You can always stalk them while you're invisible. And that's what he's doing. So, as Aizawa runs in and deals with the small fry... Like, it's easy for him. Like, Aizawa makes easy work of all of them. But when he gets close to Shigaraki is when the Nomu basically tries to step in. And that's when Deku basically comes out. And this is what really, like, sets the tempo for the fight. Is when, before the Nomu could basically, like, knock Aizawa's block off, Deku basically knocks the Nomu's block off with a kick. So basically a kick to the jaw, which was normal people, when he kicks them at full force like that, it would break the fuck out of it. Like, their jaw would be off, will be unhinged and fractured and broken all over the place, teeth out your mouth. Like, you'd need dentures when fucking with Deku. But this Nomu basically, like, after his jaw is unhinged, it basically snaps it back on. And his teeth start regrowing, and Deku's just looking at it like, because he's in Hunter mode, he's like, oh, this thing can heal. He says, oh, fine, this is gonna be fun, and basically pulls out the blaster, and pulls out the, like, you know, the claws. And basically looks at it, he says, oh, okay, well, seeing as you can regenerate, I can actually let a lot of bloodlust here. And mind you, his bloodlust, when he releases it, it brings, like, if you're around him, even Aizawa, it's damn near brought to their knees. The only people who don't feel it is the people all the way at the front. I mean, all the way at the top. Which is injured ass 13, because, yeah, I forgot. She always gets injured. My bad for that. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I keep forgetting that in this, like, 13 is always injured because of the events. And the top of the class don't feel it. But they see that Aizawa and, like, Shigaraki's, like, is flinching at it because he's like, damn, like, that's a lot more bloodlust than even I have. The Nomu doesn't feel it, but the villains that Aizawa, like, didn't hit yet, they're basically, like, pissing themselves and begging for mercy. And here's when Deku basically snaps and just walls on the fucking Nomu, and the class sees it. And if I had to explain the scene, picture Doom Guy killing a demon. I mean, trying to kill a demon that can constantly regenerate. That's it. He's just fucking, like, Scorpion's revenging this thing. Like, he's just chop, 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 chop. And just, like, slice, slice. It just keeps going. To a point where the Nomu's, like, regeneration is slow, is just halted so much because of how many pieces he's cut into. And in that second, Deku realizes that, oh, his brain is out, and basically grabs it and removes it from his fucking head. And says, oh, like, that could have been a lot easier, but, at least I got to stretch a lot. And he says, oh, this is a new trophy, by the way. And basically puts the brain away. With the, like, the Nomu's skull. And the Nomu basically, like, body sits there lifeless. And Aizawa basically looks at it, and Aizawa says, you killed it. And Deku basically explains that thing wasn't human in the first place. You can even ask him, that thing wasn't human, I can tell. And he basically says, hey, you, hands with the scratching problem, was that thing human? And he says, the fuck do you think? And he says, and now that you killed that shit, I'm gonna kill you. And Deku basically says, You won't even get close. But you never answered my question. What's the thing human? He says, obviously, it's a fucking Nomu. It has super regeneration and strength, but, you fucking beat the shit out of it before it could beat the shit out of you. My bad. I put my phone down sideways. And Deku says, yeah, basically what I expected. And Shigaraki goes charging at Deku. Deku still, pulls out the blaster and just shocks the shit out of Shigaraki. And then just ties him up in the webs. They're just saying, yeah, I told you weren't gonna get close. So, you got an uninjured Aizawa. This portal guy, who basically, in the second where Deku wasn't paying attention, they're basically looking at Aizawa, basically saying, alright, you hurt, bro? He got away with Shigaraki, and Deku says, fuck, but he's like, you know what? They're hunt for later. And Aizawa, the only thing that happened to him was that he broke and dislocated a few fingers and has a broken rib. It's a lower rib, not a higher rib. So he says, to be honest, I'm actually kind of fine. It's just, my fingers are broke. My fingers are dislocated and broken. And Deku says, well, it makes sense. You were just going ham before, I went ham. So, the heroes show up, and unlike in usual, let's see, Shigaraki didn't get shot. So, yeah. No, actually, yeah, that's the end of the USJ, actually. With Shigaraki getting away, like usual. Well, it's not like usual, but it's like usual. And everything else. So, yeah, I'm gonna end it here. This is Predator Part 3, and I created my own Discord server. I'm gonna start linking it in, even though I feel like I shouldn't have done it yet. But I've been in Discord for a while, and I was like, why not? So, yeah, I'm gonna link it in the description. And this has been Predator Part 3. So, I was gonna make a different video tonight, but tiredness set in, so I'm gonna just call it night for me. So, peace, and I'll catch you in my cove, either on Discord or on this cove later. Now, excuse me as I serve drinks before my shift is over.